What began as a frantic search for 6-year-old Lily and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan has settled into a silence that grips Lansdowne Station.
It just blows my mind that there's absolutely nothing.
RCMP are now offering new information to the public of the siblings' movements before they went missing.
For weeks, the silence had been louder than any siren. 2 children, Lily and Jack Sullivan, vanished without a trace on May 2nd. Since then, Nova Scotia has been gripped by a quiet panic, each day a growing shadow of uncertainty. And now, almost a month later, RCMP has stepped forward with an update. Today, we're not just listening to what the RCMP said. We're analyzing how they said it. Because in cases like this, when the trail runs cold and the children remain missing, the truth isn't always hidden in silence. Sometimes it's buried in the language of authority.
Hey, Paul.
Polly, what's a cracker?
Based on details gathered so far, I have confirmed that Lily and Jack were observed in public with family members on the afternoon of May 1st.
For weeks, the only timeline anyone could cling to was this. Lily and Jack Sullivan were last seen on April 29th by a school bus driver. It was one of the earliest anchors in a case filled with silence and uncertainty.
Y'all doing okay? One thing about it. Connie, yours will be delivered on Tuesday, the 6th.
But now, that detail has unraveled. In a recent RCMP update, investigators confirmed something different. According to them, the children were observed in public with family members on the afternoon of May 1st.
We're hanging in there.
2 full days later than previously believed. And just like that, the foundation beneath the investigation shifted. This may sound like a simple correction, a technical update, but in cases like this,
that's what I'm going to do here, Jack.
Is everything.
Hey,
to their credit, the RCMP has shown continued effort.
We need one.
What?
So in that bottle on the table, sat on the chair. I got no green ones, but we got them peach ones. Yeah.
That right?
Well, I mean, we got to work with them. We just need to do it, Jack.
They've reviewed footage, tracked leads, and shared key updates with the public. But in institutional language,
But everything that they have said, neither one from either side says the same thing. Hey, Reese.
Risa. Carol.
Well, how did your doctor's appointment go?
Hey.
Hey, Carol.
The way I said it.
Everything work out all right at the doctor? Hey, Sabina. Yeah. And we got once more here, too. You know.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to start doing some drawings on some things.
And of course, I pick the winner, not you.
That's right.
Truths are delivered with caution. So today, we're not just listening, we're analyzing. Because what the RCMP says matters, but how they say it may matter even more based on details gathered so far. This opening phrase immediately signals caution and non-finality. The RCMP is grounding its statement in preliminary findings, not definitive evidence. The wording carefully avoids overpromising. Based on detailed.
What they're trying to do is let them slip up. Throw a banana peel out on the sidewalk kind of deal. They think that one of them's going to end up slipping something that they're not wanting to.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they're calling it like that. It's a guy hurting from one can't stand pain. See what I can do. Hey, there you go. I was saying we did that night. It helped all three of us. I mean, it works wonders. But I mean, you know that already. So, just like I do.
Sorry if you hear a random noise.
Gathered
That's my
so
bag.
far
She's digging
is
in
a
a
classic hedge,
chip bag over
a
here.
linguistic shield that implies openness to future correction and subtly shifts accountability away from premature conclusions. It frames the message as what we know for now, allowing room for reinterpretation later without damaging the institution's credibility. We have confirmed that Lily and Jack were observed in public with family members. The word confirmed is a powerful rhetorical tool.
That comment from last night, I think it was um, Sabina that mentioned it. It was it could be another family member that they felt comfortable with. That that could be very accurate. Yeah, they need to.
According to them, the children were observed in public. This made technical update, anchoring the timeline without taking on the burden of certitude about what happened after. Next, we look to Robert Parker, the warden of Pictou County, speaking from Central West River. In a case clouded by silence, his words offer a glimpse into the community's growing unease.
River.
Because when facts are scarce, fear spreads fast.
You notice if you ever look at any of their updates, they're always putting a red arrow pointing to that sliding glass door in the back. Whoever uploads, that's exactly the way it is. Hey, Patricia.
Hey, Patricia.
Not on anything else, but only on that back door.
This town, the silence is beginning to speak louder than ever.
I had when we lived up here before we moved to Illinois, we had a sliding door too. And sometimes that thing was hard as heck to open. If you don't use them a lot, they get stuck in there kind of deal. And it takes some pressure to flip that gauge up to even open the door. Hanging in there, look. So that door opening, I probably wouldn't say no child did it. And I bet that's what they're thinking too.
Mm-hmm.
Any bit of information is good, but it doesn't tell us a lot. It tells us that, little Lily and Jack were there the day before they disappeared, which is what was assumed all along.
We're going to break this down. And I'm going to specifically show what we got way before any of that ever come about.
Exactly. Patricia's right on that one.
What?
She said, why would you have 3 kids under 6 have a door they can't hear open or no kids can get out of?
Yeah.
She is so right on that one.
Let's listen to that line he just said right there, real quick.
Ambiguity reduces risk. If scrutiny arises later, the RCMP can't be accused of misleading, only of being broadly accurate on the afternoon of May 1st. By pinning the timeline to the afternoon of May 1st, the RCMP narrows the window of last known contact. But crucially, they are not saying this is when the children were last seen alive, only that they were observed publicly. This distinction is subtle, but vital. It reflects a legalistic mindset, anchoring the timeline without taking on the burden of certitude about what happened after. Next, we look to Robert Parker, the warden of Pictou County, speaking from Central West River. In a case clouded by silence, his words offer a glimpse into the community's growing.
I doubt. I doubt very seriously. And they don't have no cupboard over that back porch or, back door or anything. The gutters on it, if you zoom in on it real good, they're filled up. Ain't no water going to come right through there. But if it blows in from the back, it's going to rust. And let me tell you something, them doors, sometimes them latches are very, very hard. And if they're rusted, they're even that much more harder. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times people get something and put in there and push up on it with it to have leverage. Them kids didn't open that door. Yeah. No, hey, Fruit Loop. No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't be quiet, and they would have been banging and everything else because they'd probably had to get something to use some leverage to push that lever up, if it was even locked. But even if it wasn't locked, it would have squeaked like all kind of crazy, and they would have been afraid they would have woke up. So that dog won't hunt neither.
Unease, because when facts are scarce, fear spreads fast. And in this town, the silence is beginning to speak louder than ever.
Any bit of information is good, but it doesn't tell us a lot. It tells us that, little Lily and Jack were there the day before. They disappeared, which is what was.
Female that spoke for them children said seen in their room Friday. Seen in their room on Friday. What date? What was that? What would that have been?
Friday?
Yeah. Hey, Alice. I've heard a few names here. Let's see. Brianna, I heard that name. Nathan, I heard that name. A nephew, something about a nephew. Seen in their room Friday, and then there's something about a Thursday somewhere. Always angry. I even heard something about money. They both did it. Deep point. 1 to 2 feet in. From Rose, heard I see mud. Puzzles in my room. The female, I heard them cry.
Hey, Tina.
If they, hey everybody, may say, if, good grief, if a spirit can hear one cry, it's loud enough to wake anybody in the house up. If they was
For real.
a 500,000 square feet home, they'd hear it. Rosita is cold. They nearly found them. I want mama. Yeah, on my road. We're in. Her name Caleb. It's raining. Not safe at home. He was always rough when playing with them. Then I heard a female say, your son. Talking about Jack. They're in the woods, cold, alone. Poor things. Was worse to mom. Mom, I love you. Wrecked after hard to believe. Just plain mean. They just saying stuff that we already got before they ever got to that point. It may throw me back off it. That gum internet's not been working for us neither.
Assumed all along, and what was told by the parents that they disappeared that morning. So it sort of lends some credence to that, I guess, and takes away some of the stories of, well, they hadn't been around for a week and things like that. But it's, there's still a long ways to go, and I think the RCMP are struggling, to find any little bit of lead they can. And so they know the public is hungry for answers, so they're letting out whatever they can. So I don't know if this information was available before and they just hadn't let it out, or
we done got all that information. Yeah, them cams should have showed going out. Should have showed anybody carrying anything to the vehicle. It would have showed. And the way that camera is angled, right out to the road. And that's the one on the other side of their porch. Right above about the kitchen window up in the corner up in there. It was facing up toward the road. So if anybody caught that on cam, she had, I don't know how many, either her cams wasn't working, she didn't have a card in them, or authorities got the cards out of all the cams and just hadn't reported what they have seen yet. Let me say it. Yes, everybody throw up prayers for Tina Phillips here. Pray that the good Lord touch her any which way seem fit. Bless you, love.
If it wasn't available, whatever made it available now, I'm not sure of the facts.
Robert Parker's commentary in this segment serves as a restrained but insightful reflection on both the limitations of recent developments and the broader emotional state of the community.
That gum commercial. Come on.
Through the lens of expert commentary analysis, several key dimensions emerge. Parker immediately positioned the new information as symbolically valuable, even if its substantive impact is minimal. His repetition of phrases like any bit of information is good acknowledges the community's desperate need for clarity. But his next line, it doesn't tell us a lot, introduces a subtle critique. This duality reveals his understanding of how information, even when limited, serves a psychological and communicative function in high-profile cases. He references the confirmation that Lily and Jack were there the day before they disappeared, validating the original narrative provided by the parents.
If he was asleep and she was asleep, how would they know when they disappeared? How could they put a timeline on it? What if they went missing before midnight of that night? What if they were what they call asleep or passed out or whatnot? it, it don't make sense. There ain't nobody that can listen to anything that's ever been said about Jack and Lily and make it make sense. No. I don't know how many times on here in paperwork where they have said anger issues. Anger, 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 anger. Mom, anger, anger, anger. Wasn't too good to Jack, period. Blood. Something about from Lily. Words used like maniac. They won't see them anymore. I mean, these are little things that really stand out. And they can't do nothing but try to put it in sophisticated words, like, try to make it sound more authority. No, see, just because I'm a backwoods barefoot hillbilly don't mean that I'm dumb. I got common sense.
I'm all right, Kathy. Thank you.
This moment functions as a stabilizing assertion, reinforcing the public timeline and dispelling conspiracy theories about the children being missing for longer than officially reported. However, Parker's phrasing lends some credence to that, I guess, exposes a degree of skepticism.
It was Christian.
The non-committal tone and use of hedging, I guess, indicate unresolved doubts, or at the very least, an awareness that not everyone accepts the official version without question. The next portion, where he notes the RCMP's struggle to find any little bit of lead they can, reflects his empathy for law enforcement while subtly expressing concern about investigative progress. His characterization of the RCMP as reactive, letting out whatever they can, portrays an agency under pressure, operating as much in response to public expectation as to procedural breakthroughs. Finally, Parker closes the segment with a speculation about timing, whether the information had been withheld or only recently discovered. This is where his commentary becomes most pointed. By saying, "I'm not sure of the facts on that," he distances himself from making direct accusations. But the suggestion is clear. Either the RCMP delayed sharing information, or they're just now catching up. Either scenario invites scrutiny.
Investigators are now asking anyone who has dash cam footage or video along Garlic Road between noon on April 28th and noon on May 2nd to contact Northeast Nova RCMP Major Crime Unit.
Investigators are now asking. This opening phrase sets the institutional tone. The use of the formal noun
like I say, searching for answers, and I think they're becoming frustrated at this point is the best way to put it. It's not to the point of anger at the RCMP or at anybody else, but they're frustrated. They know people have tried very hard to find the little ones, but they're hoping against hope that this just doesn't become one of those cold cases that kind of goes away. So they want to keep attention on this issue, I think. Well, like I say, frustration I find now, sadness when they weren't found, but...
Shut up. These here things, the only way they get to a cold case is if they just leave it alone. Kind of like what they did on these other children. This one right here would be a good time for them to really step up to the plate and do something. Common sense to tell you these kids didn't wander off. Common sense also tell you that they either have to be under something deep enough to not pick up scent, or either have to be in water to not pick up scent. It's not like they would have had a timeline, because they really got confused if they said that they had drove out of the state or county. And there's no proof of that by any cameras out in town or anywhere else of seeing them on that day they claim that took place. These children are either under something or in something. I mean, otherwise they would have done hit on it. If they would get cadaver dogs out, they could find the scent of where they are, or if it be underwater or under mud, even covered with lime. These children did not wander away. And I was talking yesterday or last night. Yeah. People like the first problem was they didn't report it in time. That's the dead giveaway. That's a red flag right there. They both looked sickly. Then they made a comment saying from the schoolhouse that they looked, kind of okay, but then lost color, blue, pale. It's very cold. I want mama. That's something that you would hear from a little boy or a little girl. There's nobody that, when they use common sense, could play it any other way that these children have been really, really done dirty. And him and her know about it. I can't say that one or the other had more involvement, but she wanted to leave for a reason. She wanted to take that other child for a reason. All right, there's two red flags right there. Her side of the family started throwing fits at him, well, his side started throwing fits at them. That's another one. That's 4. Okay. Now, nothing's adding up. Timeline's not adding up. It's either like you said, they had it done by somebody that they trusted, or either they did it themselves or he did it, and she didn't want to hear nothing about it. That's the reason she wanted out of it. And it didn't do her a dime bit of good to go nowhere. Yeah, I mean, you need to, they need to step back in the old good fashioned way, get a good old hound, or get some cadaver dogs. Police dogs, they're pretty daggone good, but they're not as good as a good old hound, I'm telling you, or a cadaver dog. If they're in water, that cadaver dog is going to know it. If it's been, it wouldn't make no difference. It's been 6 months. If they have a piece of clothing to put in front of that dog's nose, that cadaver dog's going to find them children. That's just size, though. I've coon hunted all my life, and I know just a good old hound will find traces of bone underwater just as well as a daggum cadaver dog can. And whoever made the comment saying, well, they're misleading them to the wrong direction, yes, that's 100% true. Yeah. Yeah, it's all it's all getting twisted, and the authorities up there, they don't need to let that happen in their mind. They need to. Hey, Christy, how you doing, love?
Christy.
Uh,
Hey.
I texted you here a while back. Uh, I want one of them candles. Send me a picture of a good, uh, a good smelling, real good. I don't like cinnamon, but anything else about that?
Oh,
Everybody throw out prayers. Let's call it right here. Everybody, and I'm asking everybody in the house to throw out prayers for Christy and her family. Christy has been a long time family. She's a good woman. Everybody throw out a prayer. Everybody here tonight throw out a prayer for Christy. I'm sorry to hear that, love. Yeah. Last time you hit me up is when you was sending me the pictures of where y'all went. It was pretty out there. But I'm wanting one of your candles. Maybe something pink, maybe a strawberry flavor smell or something, you know. He had 3 strokes.
Okay.
I know all about it, love. Well, you know about mother, so she had 9.
Mm.
You know, just do like I'm having to do, love. Just think of the good stuff. We love you and we miss you from being here all the time. I know you stay busy all the time. We miss you. Yeah, even if he does, it won't hold up in court. Thank all of you for throwing, yeah, the stories. Well, you know you're loved here, honey. Be here anytime you want to. I'm sorry to hear that. When I lost my mom and dad, it felt like part of me went with them. Well, there are 2 jobs now, and you still got time to do some online work. I really do. I want one. I want one of them candles, like a pink something, or strawberry or something. Thank y'all for sending them out. You very welcome, love. The way she's been working, a lot of time I don't come on till she's off work. You know, during the day, it seems like my internet's been acting stupid.
Yeah.
Especially
here recently.
Every once in a while, the other day, it let me stay on for about 30 minutes and then it kicked me off again. Keep saying, wait while it's trying to reconnect. It can just cloud up a little bit around here and knock you out.
Mm-hmm.
But she usually gets off about sometimes about 7, sometimes 9 of a night. And we go, if she gets off at 7, we're usually live about 8:30. If she gets off at 9, it's about 10:30. But if I go live, I usually try to go in anywhere between 1 and 2:30 if I can during the day. Yeah, well, you should. You're gonna need a few days off to collect yourself and just have time for yourself. That's the best medication you can get.
You still gotta look after yourself, both mentally and physically.
Go in at 7, get off at 2 tomorrow and Sunday.
Mm.
Well, she's off tomorrow, so
And then the next
Oh.
day
I'm gonna take me a muscle relaxer after a while, so I don't know exactly what time I get up. Whenever I do, if it lets me on, I'll be on. Thank every one of you for your prayers for her. Lord have mercy. You got pictures up on Facebook? Now I had to start a new Facebook account.
Yeah.
So it's that picture right here that's up on my logo, this grayish looking one that says the John Southern Vlogs behind my picture. Hit me up there on Messenger or Facebook, whatever, and I'll accept your friend request. That's the way mine is, love. I mean, I got Wanda, but she's out at her daughter's about an hour from here. Got a sister. I don't see very much, but both parents gone. Grandmother, my Uncle Larry, a few months back. That's Joseph's dad. Couple of aunts gone, and I got my girls. They work all the time. I don't get to see them. I ain't got to see them since Larry passed. That's been several months.
Mm-hmm.
They work 2 jobs. Sometimes it's just like they ain't got time for daddy anymore. So I know exactly how you feel. 100%. Daddy, 2009. Mom was my grandmother 11 years ago. Mother, March 27th of last year, so not very well. 11? 13 months now, I think. 14.
I can check on that.
I ain't somewhere around in there. This March 23rd was a year. March 27th was a year.
Since Mom went to Lisa?
Yeah.
2 years, 2 months, and 3 days.
Ain't been no 2 years.
You said it was on the 27th.
Yeah, 2024, not 23. Boy. It don't make no difference what I'm doing. For any of you. You got something serious like that go on, I'll stop everything. I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for you guys. Yeah. You have to work 2 jobs nowadays to have sufficient time. Yeah, trust me, I know. We're gonna be in the hole this time about 260. Daggum. Bless you, love. Oh, I just don't know if that place of work with us now may have a time with that bunch, but we're gonna try it and see. Hey, Mimi.
Hey, Mimi Jean.
How you doing, love?
Sorry, you might not see me, but I'm still playing peekaboo, I guess. Hey, at least I said I guess.
Yeah, most relaxers knock you out. I take one every once in a while too. They help me rest. They really do. I don't know what I'd do without them. I gotta hurry up and go back to that doctor. Said come back in 10 days. That'll be on the 2nd. So, Mammy, have you ate today? She has to do that.
Hey, Mimi.
Even if she just snacks around. Have you ate today?
No, it was just the tone of her voice. That's why I kind of laughed like that.
Well, she knows we all love them here. Yes, I did. 2 times. Hey, that's good. There you go. You know, they say three's a charm, so I get you a midnight snack, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like me. Mine's chips. So if you hear rustling, that's why.
She gets them honey barbecue kind.
Mhm.
They are good.
I love them. Though every once in a while I have to stop eating them. They give me heartburn sometimes.
They got them chews in there.
I know. But they're so good.
Mm. That they are. I wish Lynn would come on because hers will be there Tuesday as well. Let me settle down here for a second, then I'll turn this thing on. Yeah, I know that part too. And who knows, digging around in all that stuff, closets and garages and sheds and whatever else, you may find something that strikes a chord that you might remember from younger years. You never know. Here, a few weeks back, I found one of our boxes. I had some pictures in it, and I'm talking about some of them back in the 1800s of my papa's dad's grandpa, and
even pictures that you don't even know the people of that's in it.
Yeah, even found a thing here for a certificate of graduation. This has been a minute now. I can't believe I found it. The pre-vocational class. It was signed by the principal and the Marlin Peppers, instructor of the class, 1980. Mother went back and got some of her schooling done, and she was proud of that. And I found it. Looking on that old carbon paper.
Look what Christy put up there. We have 10 of everything: cars, boats, lawnmowers, trucks, trailers.
Hey, if you got a four-wheeler up there, holler. We're gonna try to soon find us one.
Mm-hmm. Well, before we even get one of those, we would have to get that thingy first.
Well, Scotty's gonna talk to him about the trailer, and it's just 300, I reckon. So, and I've dealt with him before. He may set me little cheap payments. But at least it's got a ramp to roll it up in, Don't have to be picking
and
it
then
up.
you guys will be seeing all kinds of videos instead of just ones like this.
There'll be a lot of outdoor videos, I'm telling
you.
You'll get to see caves, waterfalls.
Instead of just these four walls.
They're closing in on me. So I've got to get out of here and fool around some. Bless you. Just a second. Wisconsin, Florida. Good Lord. I would try to get rid of everything in the county that it's in. I wouldn't try to haul that junk nowhere. I'm telling you, it's rough. Mama, she was a pack rat. Yeah.
I know someone that's like that.
Mm.
I know a few people that's like that, actually.
Really? I like to see that. I'm sure somebody recorded it. Dog. Yeah, I know the feeling. It took us about 6 weeks to get rid of most of my grandmother's stuff. And we still got some of it in Wonder's room right now.
Oh, you just reminded me of something I didn't do.
Oh, and this reminds me too. Hang on just one second. Wanda, a lot of her old dolls, she took a portion with her, but she ain't got nowhere else to put them. And she said, do whatever you want to do with them. So I may end up selling them. And
If you're interested, let us know.
yeah, and there's she's got porcelain and real skin filling type dolls.
There's one that has a big long dress that I think is really freaky.
We got it at that Live Bears place up there in Smoky.
Yeah, that one and the other one just kind of gives me the creeps.
Yeah. And there's sewing machine with a sewing machine table, everything. I don't know the brand of the sewing machine, but every time I'd have anything messed up, Mother would sew it for me, so it works fine. But the table it sits in, it folds open and sits down in it there. We got a lot of stuff. We got a desktop and all that stuff. So I said, bite me.
Come here, I will.
Hey, Paul. I'm in Pamela.
I was about to say.
I wish Lynn would pop up.
Well, she's.
Now, what was you going to say?
You reminded me of taking pictures of them.
Of the dolls and stuff.
I've been forgetting.
You need to do it with my phone or the where I can also upload it to the channel. Some of them ain't never been took out of boxes. Good night, love. Thank you. May 23rd. 62 now. You still a young cat yet. She said, you're younger than her. You come to her, Missy.
No.
Let me move this here for a second. If you can see me, say yes or no. Christy's on. She's listening. She can hear. She says, hey, hello, spirits and family. What, Lord? Me either. I looked at that last night till it was turning my stomach. That's been a minute ago, so I don't know if the person's deceased already or not, but It won't make no difference if he is or he ain't. If you can see me right now, say yes or no. But you know, everybody's still going to be here until the Lord comes back. Everybody can have it heavenly, so they're not stuck in a death state as long as they cross over. When the Lord comes back, that's when every soul will be judged before entering the gates of heaven. We are in the last seal. But as long as he's crossed and has accepted everything, the first thing that they're going to see and hear and feel is everything they did good and even small things that people have done wrong. But they have decided what they want to do with it. Explain it or just turn it over to good Lord. When they do that, when the Lord comes back, with all this catastrophe going to go on, they won't have to worry about none of it. That's a good thing. But the last world ended in water. The ones that went across the sea that Moses had opened, the ones that believed, and his disciples, yes, they're in heaven. When he created this earth in the heavens, he said it would last 1,000 years, but not thousands. When he comes back, he said he'd put 1 foot on land, 1 foot on water. He'd come like a thief in the night. Then everybody will face judgment. So yeah, he can have a heavenly comfort to his soul right now. You take your love with you when you go. Every feeling he had, every memory he had, the more you think of him, the more Kim, Tony, everybody thinks of him, talks to him. That's how you keep a spirit alive. He'll gain energy on top of energy on top of energy. Next thing you know, you'll be here in front of him all daggone time.
Hey, Tori.
Hey, Tori.
Tori. She hasn't been on in a hot minute.
It might be too soon. He just passed today. Well, I usually try to give somebody, a good month, but I have done it, and it just be within the day or so. But it depends on the person too. If he was drained, if he was lacking energy, if he say like a cancer patient, having chemo and things like that, it brings them down. They have to use muscle memory and gather energy from wherever they can to speak. But when Carolyn died up here, the own Porky's up here, restaurant in Grant, the day after they buried her, me and Carol drove by her grave because her Carol's grandmother's right down from her, and when we drove by, she said, "Hey, I'm Carolyn," and I said, "You hear that?" She said, "Yeah," and I stopped the car and backed up. She said, "My name?" She said, "You just gonna pass up without saying anything?" I said, "No." I said, "I know where you lay." She said, "Y'all have a good one." So it all depends. See, like my grandmother, when she passed, she was in the Alzheimer's state. But now, after she's figured out the ropes and how to do it, she's not like that anymore. So anytime you want one done on him, you just let me know, and I'll be glad to do it for you, love. Just it don't make no difference, day, night, whatever. You hit me up, and I'll do it.
Yeah.
Carol, if you can see me now, right now, let me know, yes or no. Hey, Jen.
Jen?
Can you see me right now? But if you can, you're welcome, love. If you can see the people here on the chat right here, call their name out if you want to. Hey, Ashley. Kathy says, Phil Williams, miss and love you. Yeah, you're welcome, love, anytime. Hey, Ashley. Hello, all my sweet friends. Hope you're all doing good. I missed you all. We missed you too, honey. I just heard a man say me too. Right there. Give me a minute, love. If you can see me right now, then look at my screen and see the names here. If you want to, call them out. Pamela is here, yes. And we hanging in there, love. She says, hey, Kristen.
Sorry, I had my mouth full of chips.
What?
Hmm?
Did he say what, love? Did he say kitty cat or what? His son kind of like you said kitty cat. Jen, you doing okay, love? If you can see me right now, okay, look at Lisa. Lisa Ann is on right now. If you're talking about Lisa Ann, she's on. Just got off work. Well, you're loved here, honey. That's for sure. Your family. Loving, beautiful spirits from Alice. Lisa Ann says, hey, spirits. Sis, I missed something. D. I'm not seeing D on tonight. We got Lisa Ann, we got Kathy, we got Jen, we got Mammy Jean, we got Ashley, Sabina, another Kathy, Jen, Carol, Reese, Pamela, Christy Lynn, Alice. So if y'all want to say anything to your loved one, here it is. Christy, yeah, she's here. What do you want to say to Christy? Kim, can you hear me? Kim, can you hear me? Okay, she's on. Christy's on. Kathy Mathis says, Amy Mansfield, I love you. He said, give him a chip. I thought there was something about cat, the kitty cat, but he said something about a chip.
Oh. Was he wanting a piece of my chips over here?
15 more days will be 4 years. Yeah. Been a minute, ain't it? Would someone come through if they believe messing with spirits might invite evil in? No. No, they're not gonna bring nothing negative. When someone passes, their death angel is always there. Always. You're born with it. They would nothing during them moments in that transition to bother anything in a negative way. Pamela says, I love my little brother Mike Broadbeck. I did hear a male say your name a while ago. Hey, Peace. Alice says, Charity, I miss you, baby girl. Mimi Jean says, love you, Summer and Rose with hearts. Hey, why are you whispering, Summer? Chris Lynn says, did Terry make it to heaven today? Did. Thank you, love. Kathy says, Phil Williams passed away May 20th. Bless you, love. Yeah, it was dead. Did you say midnight, Kim? Okay. Somebody said it. Is the spirit box one of them chips? Christy Lynn's throwing up red and blue hearts here for you. Evening. We needed to start doing more of this right here. Just a freelance kind and just let them talk and you guys hear from loved ones and just have a good night. Sometimes I get so stressed when it comes to all these children being mistreated.
I seem more active now.
Some of you said you love what? Love who? What's going on? Kathy says, love you, Summer. Yep.